Yeah, let's go ahead and get started seated. And I've got this blanket rolled up or folded up under my seat. So if you want to start with a little, cushion under you, that might be helpful to have a little elevation under you. And have your strap nearby because we will use that pretty close to the beginning of class. Welcome, Whitney. You'll want to have a strap for class today and maybe a couple of blocks. So just taking the next couple of breaths to settle into your seat, maybe wiggle a little side to side or kind of pick up the flesh of your buttocks and kind of shift it out of the way so you can settle onto your sitting bones and just start to feel the spine lengthen a bit. Let your shoulders soften away from the ears. Feel free to close your eyes or find a soft gaze out in front of you. And we'll sit for a few minutes this morning to settle in and transition from whatever we were doing to this practice. I'll invite you to take a slow breath in through your nose. Open the mouth and let it go. You can take 2 more of those at your own pace. You might even make your exhale a little audible, kind of a sigh out. Letting go, softening, arriving. As we sit here for these few moments at the beginning of practice, you might turn in and ask yourself just this question of what is happening inside me right now. Might be a collection of thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensation. And the second question might be, can I be with it? Can I be with what is right here? Noticing how these thoughts, feelings, sensations change. You might notice if your awareness stays focused on one area for longer, or and certain sensation feels more concentrated. What is happening inside me right now? Can I be with it? In the next couple of breaths, you can gently tip your chin down towards your sternum, just sensing some length in the back of your neck. Maybe even rock your head a little side to side, kind of loosening the sides of the neck here. You might flutter your eyes open if they were closed and gently lift your gaze back up. And let's switch the cross of our legs. So just kind of letting your legs come into a different shape. And re-grounding down through your seat, let your spine lengthen. And let's take a hold of our strap here just to warm up the shoulders a little bit. You can take your strap a little wider than shoulder distance apart. Thinking about kind of letting your wrists elongate with the rest of your arm. So trying not to grab too narrow on your strap because that can kind of turn your wrists in. Just letting your wrists be long, sometimes even flipping your palms up can help with that. And on your next inhale, gently pull your hands apart and lift your arms up. As you exhale, lower your hands down, just for now, coming back down out in front of you. And inhale, reach your arms up. As you reach up, you might think about lifting up through the armpits. Exhale, come back down. Again, lifting up as you inhale, broad across the chest. Exhale, come back down. One more just like that, lifting up, gently tucking the hands apart, broaden across the chest, maybe even look up. And exhale, bring the arms back down. Switching it up a little bit this time, we're going to bring the hands all the way back behind so you can reach your arms up here. Inhale. And then let your hands, your arms fall behind you. You might need to widen your strap out a little. You might slide your hands apart. And then inhale, bring them back up, lift up, maybe look up. And exhale back down in front of you. Let's take about 5 more rounds of that. This idea of shoulder flossing. Getting inside the shoulder joints, warming that space up, finding your range of motion. So I'm bringing my hands pretty far back behind me here as I come back, but you don't have to go that far. Sometimes you find your point where you're like, that's where I'm at today. And I'm going to pause there, and that's totally fine. So just kind of finding that point for you. Let's just take one more round of this. Just finding those little intricacies of this movement. What's inside? What's happening inside of me right now? This feeling that's arising from this movement. Let's gently set the strap off to the side and just shake out your hands here, kind of like you're flicking some water off the tips of your fingertips, just letting it go. Maybe even wiggling the shoulders a little bit, just kind of softening that space for a moment. Take a breath in and a breath out. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Big stretch here. And then gathering that energy towards the heart space, palms together, bring it in. I'll invite you to join for the sound of Om, the mantra Om. Just arriving here with sound and intention. We'll take a breath in together. The sound of Om vibrating in your space, you can slowly make your way down onto your back. We'll do a little bit of warm up on the back here and grounding. So when you arrive on your back, just bring the soles of the feet onto the ground. And you might want to have your strap nearby you again as we're lying down. Maybe not, there's options. So just taking a breath or two here to notice the spine supported on the mat, your feet on the earth. And then cross your right ankle over the left thigh, a figure 4 on your back. You can keep your left foot grounded, or you can hug your knees in towards your chest, kind of scooping your left leg into your hands, hugging in. And feel free to find some movement here, like a little rocking side to side. Or circling your ankle, we'll be doing some balance work today, standing on one leg. So kind of noticing the sensations in the ankle. If you feel any, there might not be strong sensations in the forefront of this moment, so that's okay too. Let's gently bring the left foot back down if it's lifted. Bring your right hand to your right knee, or you can interlace your peace sign fingers around your big toe and stretch your leg up towards the ceiling so it doesn't have to extend straight, but reaching it up through the heel. You might even hold on to the back of your leg with both hands here for a couple of breaths, letting your thigh bone drop down towards its socket. And feel free to extend your left leg down towards the bottom of the mat, reaching heels in opposite directions, extending, lengthening from the center of the body outward. And in the next breath or two, let's draw the right leg out to the right, any amount, either holding on with your finger onto your toe or propping your leg up with your arm. So I like to drop my elbow down onto the ground and let my forearm stand straight up and kind of just hold my leg in my hand. It might feel nice to reach the left arm out to the left and kind of expand in 2 directions or 4 directions or 6 directions, front, back, side to side, up and down. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, squeeze the legs back together. Lengthen up through your armpits here and then round your head in towards your knee as you exhale. Just kind of hugging in, rounding in. Draw the navel down towards the ground. Take another breath out here. Let all the breath go. And then inhale, head and shoulders back down onto the ground. Release your right foot onto the ground. And let your left foot meet it. 2 feet flat on the ground. Figure 4 on the other side. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Take a couple breaths here. Right foot can stay grounded or start to hug your knees in. Movement is welcome as we find a couple breaths in certain shapes. Just know you can move and explore. Let's bring the right foot back down if it was lifted. Left hand to the back of the left leg or peace sign fingers on the big toe as you reach the leg up towards the ceiling. A couple breaths here, finding that connection to the back of the leg, reaching up. And gently dropping the leg out to the left, any amount. Propping your leg up with your hand, maybe right arm reaches out to the side. And just really finding that connection to the center of the body, moving outward, breathing from the inside out. And one more inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the legs back together. Let's lengthen up through the top of the head, shrug the shoulders up, and then exhale, round in, knee to nose or towards nose. Take another exhale, scooping the belly, rounding the back, and then let your head and shoulders come back down. Release the left foot onto the mat, 2 feet flat. Let's bring the hands down to your sides, bridge pose. Walking the feet comfortably close. Press your feet into the ground, and as you exhale, lift the hips up. Thinking about dragging the backs of the knees forward, chest to chin, chin to ceiling. Breathing here. Strong legs rooted. Take another breath in. As you exhale, melt the spine down onto the earth. And I'll invite you to root the back of the pelvis and extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Here for a breath in, maybe roll the ankles a moment. And as you exhale, bring the soles of the feet back down. Bridge pose, round 2. Feet are rooted. When you're ready, lift your pelvis off of the earth, any amount. Thinking about staying spacious in the back of the pelvis here, like the front hip points are narrowing in towards one another, towards the navel. You might even use your arms here, the backs of the arms, the palms pressing into the earth to find more spaciousness across the front of the body. Let's take another breath in. Exhale, melt the spine down. Feel the low back, the back of the pelvis root. Extend your legs up. And we'll do this one more time. When you are ready, bring your feet back onto the earth. Grounding down. Lift your hips up. And maybe you reach your arms up and overhead. Find cactus arms. They're pressing the backs of the arms gently into the earth. Broaden across the chest. Grounding here into the places that are touching the earth, rooting. Another breath in. As you exhale, roll on down. Gently bring the knees in towards your chest. And we'll start to get a little momentum here, rocking and rolling forward and backward. Moving towards child's pose or downward facing dog. Feel free to roll onto your side and press up into either of those shapes as well. Child's pose or down dog, or maybe a combination of the two. A couple breaths in child's, a couple breaths in down dog. And we breathe here. A couple breaths to settle in. Notice your body in this new shape. Maybe move, pedaling the feet if you're in dog pose, or finding a little shifting side to side if you're in child's. The breath moving in, the breath moving out, finding a rhythm of your breath in this moment. On your next exhale, come to table, either dropping the knees or shifting forward if you're coming from child's pose. Cow pose or puppy pose, your call. You can start to drop the belly for cow or walk your hands forward and melt the heart towards the earth for puppy. We'll be here for about 5 breaths, feeling into the back bend. If you're in puppy pose, another option would be to bend the elbows and kind of stack your arms and let your head drop just behind them. Finding a little more of a grounding of your arms in front of you, a melting of the chest towards the earth. Breathing in, breathing out. 2 more breaths, finding that spacious quality of your inhale, releasing, letting go as you exhale. Another breath in. Exhale completely. Let's all walk the hands back under the shoulders and round the back for cat pose. About 5 breaths here. So I know we usually move through these cat and cow flow pretty quickly, finding a steady breath, intricacies of the pose, noticing those. Spacious in the back body, chin to chest, head is heavy. On your next inhale, neutral spine. Spread the fingers wide. Maybe walk the hands a little farther forward and wider as you tuck the toes and lift the hips up for dog. This might be the first time you've been here, or maybe it feels different this time. Entering the pose with curiosity. Let's take a breath in here. And a breath out. Soften your knees, bring the gaze forward and tiptoe to the top of the mat, taking your time to arrive. Lift when you get there, just halfway, look forward, draw the hips back. Exhale to fold over your legs. And then rise all the way to stand. Stretch your arms up, press the feet down, inhale. Exhale, hands come down to your sides. Gonna start to flow a little here, hands to heart center, inhale. Interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, round your back as you exhale. And then stretch the palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift up through the armpits. Exhale, hands float down to your sides like you're swimming. Scoop your right knee in towards the chest. Stand on your left leg and pause. Lifting the chest, scooping the navel, grounding onto one foot. We're here for another breath in. As you exhale, bring your foot back down onto the mat. Stand up tall. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, press the palms forward, interlace, round your back. Press the palms up, inhale here. And exhale, float your hands down to your sides. Scoop your left knee up, stand on your right leg, and pause. You might find a point out in front of you that's not moving, your drishti point. Or maybe a mental drishti, a little mantra. I am sturdy, I am strong, I am rooted. Take another breath in. As you exhale, bring the foot down and then sweep your arms up and overhead. Inhale. Hands to the low back this time. Let's interlace the fingers and draw the knuckles back. Curl the chest open. And then bend the knees a lot as you fold forward. Let your hands fall behind you. Drop your head. Inhale, lift the chest, lift halfway. And sit back into chair, release your bind, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, fold over the legs, drop the head, chin to chest. Inhale, look forward here. Plant the fingertips onto the ground or blocks as you step your left foot back for a low lunge. Drop the left knee down, settle in. And then crawl your hands to the right thigh. Maybe you start to sweep your arms up and overhead. Low lunge. Spread the front toes wide. Gently press into the top of the back foot. And hug the inner thighs together a bit here. Just find that connection here. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus arms, offer the heart here. And inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot, setting up for a twist. Let's peel the chest open to the right, reach the right arm up. Left hand can be on the ground or a block. And maybe you choose to lift the back knee. Tucking the back toes, lift the back knee up if you'd like. Imagining the shoulder blades squeezing together. Let's take another breath in. Exhale, the right hand comes back down. Let's tuck the back toes and lift the back knee if it's not already. Hop the foot up about halfway, coming into pyramid pose. And you can make that as short of a stance as you'd like. Angling the back toes in about 45 degrees. Hands can be on the ground or blocks. Let's inhale for some length and space. And exhale, fold in, soften in. Drop the head, chin to chest. Here for about 3 more breaths. It might be interesting to play around with that walking of your hands a little farther forward, gently pressing into the hands as you draw your hip creases up and back. Kind of like the idea of down dog, but in pyramid pose. Breathing in. Breathing out, soften your front knee. Bring the gaze forward And step your left foot up to meet your right. Fold over the legs, soften the knees, chin towards your chest. Press your feet down and rise all the way up. Stretch your arms up and overhead. Exhale your hands to your low back. Interlace here. Draw the knuckles back. Curl open. And exhale to fold over the legs. Hands can stay bound or release them. Lifting for chair pose as you inhale. Let your hands come to the low back. Release and sweep them up. As you exhale, fold over the legs. Drop the head, chin to chest. Inhale for length and space. Look forward. Draw the hips back. And then bring the fingertips down. Step your right foot back for your low lunge. Drop the knee, root your legs, and then crawl the hands up when you're ready. Feel free to sweep your arms up. Find that spaciousness through the sides of your body. Another breath in. As you exhale, bend the elbows, offer the heart, squeeze the elbows back. Inhale, stretch your arms up. And then bring the hands down. Let's curl open to the left for your twist. Left arm can reach up, or feel free to bring your left hand onto your left thigh here as well. That would be fine. Tuck your back toes if you'd like and lift the knee off of the mat. Thinking about opening up to the left side of your room as your front foot presses into the earth. Let's take another breath in here. And exhale, bring the hand back down. Lift your back knee. Take a hop about halfway towards the front of the mat for pyramid pose. Straighten your front leg. Lift up halfway to lengthen your back. And then fold forward any amount. Hands on the ground or blocks. Feel free to play around with that crawling of your hands forward here, pressing into the hands. Draw the hips back. And then fold, soften into that space. Another breath in. Hold as you exhale. Stepping to the top of the mat, soften the front knee. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Fold in. Head is heavy. Rise all the way up to stand. Stretch up, reach up. And bring the hands to the low back. Interlace here. Draw the knuckles back. Curl open. And exhale, fold over the legs. Soften here. Head is heavy. Knees are soft. Let's come into chair pose and pause this time. Arms sweep up. Feel free to stay here with your arms lifted, or bring your hands to the back of your head so they interlace. And then gently start to draw your elbows closer together and then lift the elbows up, almost like you're leaning your head back into your hands. Now lifting up in the back of the neck. And then maybe you release your hands and stretch them back up. Inhale here. As you exhale, fold forward over the legs, drop the head. And then rise all the way back up to stand. So we'll sweep the arms up. And exhale, float the hands down to your sides. Scooping the right knee in towards your chest. Stand up on the left leg. And then cross the right ankle over your left thigh as you sit back into your figure 4 chair combo. Draw the hip creases back. Let's bring the left hand to the hip, right hand to the right knee or the right big toe. Draw the knee or the leg out to the right, opening out to the right. And you might wobble like I just did, that's fine. Grounding, finding your steady point of focus, holding your knee or your big toe. Lift up in the chest, find a little scoop of the belly. Breathe. Think about drawing your shoulder back if you're holding on with your hand. And let's gently bring the knee or the foot back through the center. Hug in, lift the chest, release your hand from your leg and stretch it out for a flash breath. In, Lift a little higher, and then swoop your leg all the way back to the back of your mat for a warrior two pose. Big step with the foot back, ground your back heel, bend into the front knee, stretch the arms out into a T. Breathing in, breathing out, settling into the legs. Option to move into Gomukhasana arms here. Right arm reaches up, bend the elbow. You can take your left hand, bring it over the head and squeeze your elbow in here. Or take your left hand back behind you, crawl it up the back. Maybe the hands clasp, but they don't have to. Here for a breath in. Exhale, hold. And another round. Exhale. Unravel your arms, stretch them back out and into peaceful warrior. Right arm slides down the back leg, left arm reaches up. Side angle, left forearm onto the left thigh, right arm up alongside the ear. Here for a couple of breaths, so feel free to explore, maybe bringing the right hand behind your back for a half bind. Maybe you choose to come into a full bind if that's something that sounds interesting to you this morning. Deep bend in the front knee. 2 more breaths. Draw your navel in towards the spine, root through the feet and rise back up for peaceful one more time. Curling open. And exhale, curl your hands down to frame your front foot. Let's sweep the left leg up and back for 3-point dog. Press into the hands, press your left heel up. And pause here for a couple of breaths, maybe stacking the hips. Feel free to bend your knee and circle the knee and hip a bit in the air. Breath is steady. On your next inhale, stretch your left heel up. Press into the hands. Step your left foot between the hands, high lunge. Gently rooting the feet, crawl your hands to the top of the thigh. Eventually sweeping your arms up for a big breath in. And bend your elbows, cactus arms. Exhale, curl the chest open. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And then bring your hands to your sides as you hinge halfway over your front thigh. Preparing for warrior 3. Let's take a big step into the left foot. Hands can stay at your sides or interlace them and bring them onto the top of your thigh. Back toes can stay grounded here or hover them off of the mat. Warrior 3. Standing on one leg, lengthening the chest forward, almost like you're finding a little back bend here, lifting the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take your time here. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. Stand up and maybe bring your arms up and overhead. Standing on one leg, inhale. Exhale, hands and foot come back down to the ground. My hands will come down to your sides. Nice job, everybody. Take a breath in here in the middle and a big breath out. Root through your feet, sweep your arms up, inhale. And exhale, dive over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your back. And exhale, fold again. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Bring your hands behind you, interlace. Draw the knuckles back, curl open. And then exhale to fold over the legs. You can bend your knees a lot here. Inhale for chair pose, set the hips back, sweep the arms up and pause. Option to stay here, take that little bit of active variation here, leaning the head back into the hands, interlaced, hugging the elbows in, kind of like a headstand prep, squeezing the elbows in, lifting the elbows up. And then maybe you release the hands and take a big breath in, stretching the arms up, set the hips back. Fold forward over the legs, drop in. Lift up for length and space, draw the hips back. Exhale to refold. Soften the knees and rise all the way to stand. Sweep your arms up. Float your hands down to your sides. Exhale. Draw the left knee in towards your chest. Stand up on one leg. And then cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Draw the hips back. Set back into your figure four. Good. When you're ready, we'll take the right hand to the hip, left peace sign fingers to the left big toe, or left hand to left knee. Gently drawing the knee or leg out to the side. Find that outer hip rotation, that scoop of the belly, lift of the chest. Breathing. Gently hugging the knee back in through the center. Stand up tall. And then extend your leg out just for a moment. Inhale. Sweeping your leg back like a swoosh back behind you. Step back for your warrior two. Bend into the front knee. Stretch your arms out into a T and settle in. Legs will stay rooted here. You might choose to find that Gomukhasana arms, the back elbow bends, left elbow bends. You can hold on with your right hand overhead, gently hugging the arm in towards your ear. Or bring your right hand back behind you, crawling it up, maybe clasping. Doesn't have to clasp. Lifting up through the chest, stacking over the pelvis. Another breath in and out. Unravel your arms, left hand to the left thigh as you slide down into peaceful warrior. Reach up through the right fingertips. Side angle, right forearm to right thigh, left arm alongside the ear. Here for a few breaths, letting the hips drop in, sensing that length and space through both sides of the body. Option to take a half or full bind here, your call. Good, everybody. Rooted through the legs. We slowly come up through the middle again as you stretch your right arm up, peaceful warrior. Big breath in. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the front foot. 3-point dog. Stretch your right leg up and back. Reaching up through the right heel, pressing up through the right heel. Maybe you open the hip here for a breath or two. Circling if you'd like, or bending and straightening the knee. Maybe a breath out of the mouth. On your next inhale, stretch your right leg straight. And then step the foot between your hands. High lunge. Crawl the hands onto your right thigh. Eventually sweeping your arms up. Take a big breath in. Bend the elbows, offer the heart. Maybe lean back a bit. And inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's bring the hands down to your sides, preparing for your warrior three, hinging over the front leg. Maybe hands come onto the front thigh. That can be grounding, your call. Shifting into your front leg, hover your back foot if you'd like. Toes can stay on the ground. Lengthen the chest forward. Rooting through your right foot. Let's breathe deep here and draw the left knee in towards the chest. Stand up and sweep your arms up. Just taking each moment for what it is. Take another breath in and then slowly bring the hands down to your sides, foot down to the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice. Let's soften the knees. Sweep the arms up, inhale, Exhale, dive over the legs, forward fold. Lift halfway, lengthen your back, and then step back to your downward facing dog. Hands plant, step on back. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank pose and pause here. You have the option to drop one or both of your knees onto the mat. You could also come onto your forearms if your wrists are feeling tender. Feel the space between the shoulder blades puff up and then lengthen from the inside out for another breath in. Exhale, drop the knees and lower to the belly. Come on down to the belly. Swing your hands to your sides. Let your forehead come down onto the ground. And let's flip the palms to face up towards the ceiling so the backs of the hands glue onto the mat. On your next inhale, lift your chest and your legs off of the ground. Kind of pressing into the backs of the hands as a point of connection. Curl open. Lengthen up through the armpits. Take another breath in. Exhale, soften onto one ear. See how soft you can make your body here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Gently roll back onto the forehead. Another variation of Shalabhasana. Let's lift the chest, lift the hands and arms, and lift the legs. Finding this kind of feeling of flight here. Lifting, taking off. You might even move your arms in a fun way, just kind of exploring, feeling into this shape of spaciousness across the front body, strength in the center of the body, the back. Breathing in. And exhale, soften onto the other ear. Pause. 2 slow breaths. And when you're ready, rolling onto the forehead. Another variation here of locust pose. You can take any of the previous 2 or interlace your hands at the low back. Draw the knuckles back, curl the chest open. Option to keep the tops of the feet glued to the mat here. Gently hug the legs in, or maybe it would feel better to lift them. Just kind of exploring that for yourself here. And breathing. Another breath in. Exhale, slowly come down. Maybe rest on one ear or stack the hands and rest on that little pillow of your hands. Breathing in, let the belly expand into the ground under you. Breathing out, let the breath fall out of the mouth. Another breath just like that. Letting it go. Just gently slide the hands under the shoulders or next to the rib cage. Press up into table. Swing your legs out in front of you. Let's sit down and starting by extending your left leg out, let's bend the left knee and bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the leg. And once you're here, you might notice you want to have a little elevation under your hips. So maybe take a blanket or something to prop up onto. Let's bring the hands to either side of your extended leg and gently start to crawl your hands forward a little bit. Keeping your back long, your neck in line with your spine. Option here to take a gaze over the right shoulder, like you're finding a little twist. Maybe you even take that outside hand and bring it back behind a bit. Kind of feeling that space in the spine, Gentle twist. Let's take another breath in. As you exhale, fold over your extended leg. Dropping into that space. Slowing things down. Maybe rocking your head from side to side a bit. In the next breath or two, gently crawl your hands back, lift your chest. And then let's cross, or let's switch the legs out. You can take a moment in the middle if you'd like. Eventually extending your left leg and bending the right, bringing it close to the inside of your left leg. Framing the extended leg with your hands crawling forward, lengthen your back. Neck in line with the spine as you gently twist over the left shoulder. You can crawl the left hand back if you'd like. Maybe even crawling the right hand back and sitting up a little taller would feel interesting. Breathing in and breathing out, turning back over the front leg and folding forward. Dropping into the sounds, sensations, thoughts, feelings of the moment. Letting it all be. Can I be with this just as it is? Gently start to rise back up. Take your time. Let's bring the soles of the feet onto the ground. Knees point up and just pause. Be in the center. All right. Gently making your way onto your back. Just take your time here to scooch towards the center. Come on down. Let your knees come in towards the chest when you get there. Might take a little bit of rocking side to side. Let's open the arms out into a T. Let your knees drop over to the right. Maybe your gaze falls to the left. And as you pause here, you might sense the movement of your breath. Just how your breath is moving in and out. How it's expanding sideways, forward and backward maybe, up and down. Let's gently bring the knees back through the center and over to the other side. In your own time, gently bring the knees back through the middle. You can come into happy baby pose or another inversion of your choice. That might mean just reaching the legs up towards the ceiling. Let your eyes soften if possible. Let the jaw unhinge. Maybe even opening and closing the mouth a couple times to encourage that. Eventually moving towards a resting place of your choice. You can bring the soles of the feet wide on the mat and tip the knees together. Or maybe extending the legs towards the bottom of the mat would feel nice. Just thinking about getting comfortable, cozy even. Wrapping up with a blanket or adding a layer. And scanning the body for any areas of tension, any areas of obvious tension. Just seeing if you can soften there just a bit. Take rest in Shavasana. Gently bring your awareness back into your body. What is happening inside me right now? I'm not forcing anything, just acknowledging this constant flow and change of sound, sensation, thought, feeling, emotion. And gently inviting movement back into your body. Maybe a full body stretch would feel nice. And bringing the soles of the feet back onto the earth. If your legs were outstretched, roll onto your side. Eventually make your way up into a seat, just kind of closing how we started with the seat rooted, the spine long. And if you'd like, you can join for a final mantra of Om, bringing the palms together in front of the heart if you'd like for Anjali Mudra. Just closing with this sound together. You can breathe in. Thank you for sharing in this practice today. So happy that you could make it here this morning. If you would like to hang out for a few moments, I've been interested in kind of doing a little deep